Hey everyone, this is Cameron.
And I'm Ellen.
And today we're going to be cooking with trash.
So today I'm going to do a spin on classic Ratatouille. I've got potatoes over there, I've got some zucchini, the yellow squash, tomatoes, and normally I would put maybe a little Parmesan cheese, some sort of a grated cheese, but we have pepper jack, which will add a little spice to it. Nothing wrong with that. And I'll probably do some breadcrumbs out of some of this bread, give it a nice crunchy topping. So that's what we're going to be cooking today.
Alright guys, today we're going to be making a traditional French dish known as ratatouille. So we've got our yellow squash here, a nice loaf of bread that we found from the dumpster of a local bakery. We've got some cherry tomatoes, zucchini, red potatoes, as well as some pepper jack cheese over here. The only extra ingredients that we're going to be using will be some salt, some pepper, as well as some olive oil. Everything else was found in the dumpsters of local grocery stores and bakeries.
Round one.
Alright, first step, we've got our loaf of bread here. We're going to chop it up into thin slices, and she's going to show you how to do it. And then I might give it a shot myself, who's to say.
Yeah, and we're trying to dry it out. That's what we're doing so we can make breadcrumbs out of it. Normally I would have sliced it, left it out a few days in the air. That would have been fine, but this is dumpster diving, people. It's whatever you get on the day, make it work. So I've already sliced off the end of it. The crust's probably going to be too tough to make a breadcrumb with. We're just going to be slicing it kind of thin so it'll dry out nice and quickly in the oven.
There we go.
And that is a delicious loaf of sourdough.
All right, we're gonna give this a shot.
Nice and thin.
See
Watch your
if I can
finger.
do this. Let's see if I can do this without ruining the entire cooking show. Hopefully. Oh, I did it!
Look at that.
Look at that.
It's beautiful.
It's a little thick on top, but on the bottom is actually where it counts.
Do one more of those and we should have plenty to make our breadcrumbs with.
All right.
I'm just going to put those in the oven right on the rack. No pan. That way it'll dry out even faster. And we'll be able to make our breadcrumbs.
Alrighty, step two, moving swiftly along. We've got our vegetables here, the yellow squash, the zucchini, as well as the potatoes. We're going to be doing what is known as...
mandolin. So that's one of these.
Not the instrument.
No.
I would not recommend trying to play this. It has a very sharp blade and you probably saw your fingers into nubs sort of thing. So.
Yeah. So first step though, I'm going to trim up my vegetables so they're safer to use on the mandolin. I'm going to cut off the ends to make a nice flat surface.
Okay.
And then I'm going to make them a little shorter. That's going to give me a little more control on the mandolin.
Let me give this a shot. Let's see what I'm capable of doing here. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh yeah! Look at that. If I can do it, you definitely can do it.
Like a pro.
Like a pro. It's all about teamwork here in this kitchen. If you don't bring teamwork to this kitchen, get out of my kitchen.
Same thing with the zucchini. I'm just taking the top and the bottom off making them safe to use on the mandolin. And all these little bits are gonna go into our compost.
Let me get involved. I feel left out over here.
Get involved, get involved.
Bam. Bam. You see how quickly I do it though? I don't know if that means I'm better than you or something. Who's to say? Who's to say, really?
With the potatoes, maybe just one cut off of one end. So we have a nice flat surface to begin with. And then they will be ready for the mandolin.
All right, and all these little scraps that we've got here, you can see all the potato ends, all that good stuff. Guess where that's going? You guessed it, right into the compost. So we got a little compost bin. If you guys have watched our previous episodes, you'll know. Very basic little trash can. All the scraps, the organic waste, we just chuck into that thing. And over a long period of time, it will slowly become soil that we can use for gardening. So nothing goes to waste. Next step, let's discuss.
Next step, we're going to just be slicing our little grape tomatoes in half lengthwise.
Yep, and we'll be back in 3 days once we've cut all these little tomatoes, so we'll catch you then. Once we've cut all these, we're just gonna place these in the bowl here. Okay, step number, what is that, 3?
Sure.
Okay. Step number something. We're going to be mandolining. Is that the... I don't know what it is.
Sure, it is a word now.
Yeah, we're going to be mandolining.
Mandolinin.
All these veggies, so let's do that. Let's begin.
Yes. So if you have never used one, even if you have used one, be super careful. This will cut your finger. So you want to get a nice grip, fingers nice and tight up at the top there.
Well, show them the grip that you had, because some people want to be, there you go. 2 fingers exactly here. You want the ring and the pinky finger here, thumb placement here, good to go.
And you don't push down, just slide it across. The blade's very, very sharp.
I was expecting something a bit more exciting.
It's not.
I want my money back.
So right now, I'm stopping. I'm close enough.
Done.
And look what we got.
Oh my god, look at these little beautifully sliced thin zucchini right there.
All right, so again, same thing with the yellow squash. And what's really cool is when you use the mandolin, everything's gonna be completely uniform in size and shape. That means it's all gonna cook at the same time. You're not gonna have some bits that are still raw and some that are overcooked.
Next up, red potatoes. Let's mandolin these bad boys and see what happens. This is actually a very inexpensive dish as well. In the event that you don't dumpster dive this, zucchini, squash, potatoes, you can buy them in bulk for a couple bucks. Right, so we've just mandolined some of the potatoes and we've put them in the bowl here. We're adding some water to it and then we'll add a bit of salt and that will help preserve them. Alrighty guys, so we have just mandolined, I guess is the word, all of the zucchini, the squash. We have the potatoes here sitting in the water and salt just to keep them preserved a little bit. And then our tomatoes have been chopped. We've got our bread here, which have been sliced into nice thin slices. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna move over to the oven and we're going to stick our bread in the oven and dry it out. All right, cool, so now we're just gonna start layering everything into this dish. So let's begin.
All right, first thing I'm gonna do is strain my potatoes out of the water. I want them a little bit dried out, otherwise everything's just gonna boil and get mushy. All righty, a little bit of oil in the bottom of the dish, keep things from sticking. Now when you're layering your vegetables for the ratatouille, this is where you can get a little creative, have a little fun. We can do a ring of potato and then squash and zucchini. We could do one of
Let's spice it up. Let's recreate a Dali in the base of this dish right here. Let's do it.
So we're just gonna be layering.
All right.
Kind of tight in a nice ring around the outside. So now let's work with our yellow.
A little bit of one of these things here.
This is called shingling.
Shingling.
That's what they call it, shingling.
Okay, so here we are. We've got our layer of potatoes, our layer of yellow squash, and now we're gonna throw our zucchini on top. We're just gonna continue with the shingling technique.
All right, so we have one layer. We're gonna drizzle a little oil,
a
little salt and pepper.
Okay, cool. Oil first, and then just one of these things. All right, pepper on this bad boy right here.
So if you want more of a casserole, you could do another series of layers. I happen to like mine kind of crispy and roasted, so I'm gonna leave it like this. We're gonna add some of our tomatoes on top there.
The cool thing is, now we've got all these potatoes, zucchinis, and yellow squashes that I've been mandolined and we can use for future meals. So Nothing goes to waste.
Absolutely.
What is how should we layer these bad boys?
I'm gonna let you use your artistic integrity there.
I'm gonna make a little sun. Just gonna get creative, make it sun.
And then we're gonna be laying the pepper jack cheese over the top, which will melt, so we won't lose the design. Look how pretty that is.
Look at that. I just freaking did that myself.
So let's go ahead and get just a couple pieces of
You got our cheese?
pepper jack cheese.
Our dumpster cheese?
This is where we leave France behind, frankly. So I'm just gonna tear it up pieces.
Ooh, that cheese smells awesome.
It
smells like Subway.
All right, time to put this bad boy in the oven. Once it's cooked through, then we're gonna top it with our breadcrumbs, stick it in the broiler, make them goldy, tasty, delish.
All right, moving swiftly along, we are now at the oven and we are going to start baking all of our dishes here. So the first thing that we have is our ratatouille. We put it in a baking tray. As you can see, we've got all the tomatoes that we cut in halves. We've got the pepper jack cheese laid on top. We also have the zucchini, yellow squash, and the red potato that we mandolined into nice and thin slices and made into a pretty cool shape. So that's gonna get thrown in the oven to cook. We also have all of our sourdough bread here. We've got these thin slices that we chopped from the loaf. So that's been placed on a baking tray. That's gonna go into the oven. Just get a light toast going on so that we can dry it out and create breadcrumbs with it. And that's gonna go on top of the ratatouille. So let's freaking begin this. The first thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna preheat this oven to 375 degrees. So let's do that real quick.
Okay. All right, I'm just popping these in the oven, 375. I'm gonna go ahead and get ratatouille. That's gonna take about 15 to 20 minutes. The bread I'm gonna lay right out on the rack, because that's gonna get it really toasted and dried out very quickly. And the bread's gonna take maybe 5-10 minutes at the most, and we'll check on it. Make breadcrumbs.
Alrighty, so we've just left our bread in the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for around 5-10 minutes or so, just so they're nice and lightly toasted, so they're a little bit crispy. The next step, we're gonna take these bad boys, we're gonna throw them in our blender here, we're gonna blend them up, and then we're gonna throw them into this bowl, add some salt, some pepper, and then we're gonna chuck that on top of our ratatouille. So let's begin.
All right, just rough pieces. We're gonna, nice and crunchy.
Ooh.
Just stir it up, like so. We can put all of it in at once. It should be able to crumb them all up.
This is my favorite part of the meal.
Waste not, want not. We'll just put the rest of these in there. Push it down. Yeah.
Crush! I command you to crush! Sometimes you have to be violent.
Right.
Alrighty. Perfect. Look at this. A bunch of crumbs. Alright, we're gonna add that to the bowl.
Yeah.
Bada bing, a bada boom.
Little salt. Little pepper.
Little Peppa, isn't that a kid's cartoon? A Peppa Pig?
Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig represent! If you watch Peppa Pig, leave a comment. There we go. Ooh, wow. Alright, so next step, now that we've got our crumbs all prepared here in the bowl, we're going to go and grab our ratatouille, which is in the oven right now, bring that bad boy out, add the crumbs on top, and we'll have ourselves a finished meal. So we have just finished the ratatouille, or the ratatouille is just finished cooking. That was in the oven for maybe 20 minutes or so.
20, 30 minutes,
20, 30 minutes at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Ooh, the cheese is nice and melted. Veggies are nice and roasted. So now we're going to add our breadcrumbs on top. Let's do this. A little sprinkle.
All right, I'm gonna put this under the broiler just to finish toasting those breadcrumbs.
Okay, so after we placed the ratatouille with the breadcrumbs in the oven, we just broiled it a little bit. This is the final result. Here it is, ratatouille, a French cuisine made by mostly her and a little bit of me. But yeah, 100% dumpster dived, minus the oil, salt, and pepper. I hope you guys enjoyed. All right, now we're gonna taste test it and let you know whether our creation is bueno or disgusting. So I have a feeling it's gonna be really good as per usual, so cheers.
Cheers.
Oh yeah. Another successful meal down. I highly recommend you guys give this a shot. Very easy to make, super simple. You're also welcome to follow along. Thank you guys so much for watching yet another episode of Cooking with Trash. I appreciate all the love and all the support. If you guys would like to follow us on Facebook, we do have a Facebook account called facebook.com/cookingwithtrash. We also have a YouTube channel, Cooking with Trash. We also have an Instagram account, Cooking with Trash Show, so at Cooking with Trash Show. And if you'd like to support the project financially, help us improve the content that we're dishing out for you guys, as well as to help fund future projects that we have in store, we would very much appreciate it. And you can do so by heading over to our Patreon account, and that's patreon.com/cookingwithtrash. So, with that said, I appreciate that you guys tuned in to get another episode of Cooking with Trash, and we shall catch you next time. Peace! Alright guys, I'm en route to the family shelter right now where I'll be donating all of the food that we're not going to be using. So pretty much most of that bread that I gathered, we're only using one loaf of bread. Everything else goes towards the family shelter. All the apples, the oranges, we already have a ton of those from our previous dive, so we don't need any more. We've got the tortilla chips, a couple of the cantaloupes, and that's pretty much it. But either way, it's a large amount of food, and I'm happy that other people are able to make use of it, and you know, it's able to feed those in need. So double whammy right there. We reduce food waste and we feed the food insecure.